Hello everyone, welcome back. It's me Anand here. So, today we are going to learn a sonnet which is written by John Milton, and the title of this sonnet is On His Being Arrived at the Age of 23. The most important thing that I'm not saying it a poem, but I'm saying that it is a sonnet because it consists of 14 lines and it has got two different set of thoughts. The first seven line, it has a different meaning, it has a different tone, and the next seven lines, it has got different tone. So it is a kind of devotional sonnet where the poet has got some kind of ultimate faith on God. So one thing we must remember here is that the poet John Milton, he feels that he is a failure here. He has not got enough experience of life. He has not seen different aspects of life. So that is why he has a very few experience, and because of which he thinks that he is not yet matured. He feels that his inner talent, his potentials, his caliber are not yet grown. These things, all his hidden talents are not yet you know developed. Let's start the sonnet. Here the poet says that time is a thief, time is a unseen thief. Now, why time is an unseen thief? This is a question here. The poet says that time is an unseen thief because he believes that time has stolen 23 years of his age without any notice. He says that time has not never notified him, and without notifying him, it has taken 23 years of his age. He believes that this 23 years of age, this 23 years, this time interval of 23 years, it passed away in such a hasty manner. It was moving so fast that he had no idea. Now he has realized that this time moved away, this time passed away in such a hasty manner that he could not develop himself. He could not, groom himself. He could not bring out all his caliber. He could not bring out his poetic talent. He believes that just because of time has not given him enough chance to do all these things, and because of which he is not yet mature. See, here the poet, he is complaining. He has got lots of complaint against time. He says that at this age of 23 years, 23 years, here 23 years is said as late spring. So at this age also, he could not see any sort of development in him. He could not see any maturity in him. So that is why he feels that in this 23 years, he could not achieve anything because time has stolen his 23 years without any notice. See, what normally happens if a child fails in his exam, or if a child get less marks in his exam, then he try to find different kind of excuses. And the same thing the poet, he has been doing here. He failed to nourish himself, he failed to develop himself, and he came up with such excuses that time was responsible for all this. He is not responsible for his failure. Time is the one who is responsible, because he believes that time has stolen his 23 years of age, and that is also without any notice. He says that day by day he is growing old. He is approaching towards manhood, but his qualities, his potentials, his personality is not up to that mark. Like here, the poet says that his appearance might deceive the truth. That means he seemed to be a very grown, a very matured man, because at the age of 23, one looks so. Like their physical appearance seem so that everybody, they will assume that this particular person, this fellow must have every, knowledge of everything, or he must be matured enough. But this appearance, this physical appearance, is deceiving the truth, because he is not matured. He is just matured physically, but his inner talent, his personality, his qualities are not yet developed. He says that he is approaching towards manhood. That means he is growing older day by day, but there are still lots of weak points in him. There are still lots of things which are yet to come out, which are yet to be nourished, because he feels that his poetic talent itself is not yet nourished. So that's why he feels that even though he is approaching towards manhood, he is growing older day by day, but he is not yet matured. There are a lot of qualities in him which are not yet ripe. As I had told you that it is a sonnet, and there are two set of thoughts. So this was the first 7 line which I have already explained. So here the poet has got different kind of complaint. Complaint for what? Complaint for being a failure. He is not blaming himself, rather he is blaming time. He feels that time has not given him that opportunity. This was a different tone. Now, in the next 7 line, the poet shows some kind of ultimate faith and belief in God. Now, as I have already told you, if a child fails in exam, or if a child he failed to get good marks in exam, he come up with lots of excuses, and sometimes even we also do that kind of. We think that no, it was my fate, it was my luck, it was my destiny, this was all pre-planned by God, so it happens. So this is what normally everyone does. Most of the people, if they don't get proper excuses, they come up with this kind of conclusion. So here he feels that, and he wants some extra time, some grace time from God. Why? To compensate his failure. Whatever things he has left undone, whatever things which has made him failure, to cover up all these things, to compensate his failure, he wants some extra time from God. So here in the second set of thought, in the next 7 lines, the last 7 lines, the poet, he is trying to console himself. Here he is trying to console himself by showing some faith in God. He says that God will definitely give him that extra time, or that grace time, and he also says that God has got a very deep observation on every individual. More or less, sooner or later, he gives everything to everyone. He says that God will definitely give him that time, and he will come up with all his problems, and he will resolve his problems, and he will nourish himself, he will develop himself in that time, within that given time. He says that God never makes any kind of discrimination, be it poor or be it rich. God, everyone is equal in the court of God. So that is why he has got this sort of faith in God. And he also says that God is the taskmaker. Now again he believes that whatever he has failed, whatever mistake he has done, he is not blaming himself for this. Rather, he says that it was all pre-planned by God, because he believes that God is the taskmaker, God is the all in all. There is no one who can overrule, who can go beyond the rules of God. So that is why he feels that whatever he has achieved, be it a very little amount of qualities that he has achieved in the last 23 years. So whatever he has achieved, all this achievement was, pre-planned by God. No doubt he has achieved, or he has, acquired a very little amount of qualities in him, but then he believes that this was all pre-planned by God. There was nothing in his hand. That is why he could not go more, he could not do anything extra, because God is all in all. So this is how here he is trying to console him. He says that God is the task maker, and he believes that we human beings are all puppets. We do our part of job, we act our part of actions according to the God, according to what God has already pre-planned, and accordingly we do our part of job. He says that God is the task maker, and no one is ever spared in his eyes. He will give, or he will do equal, he will never do injustice to anyone. So that's it. This was the overall explanation of this sonnet. Remember one thing, here the sonnet, it has got two tone, or you can say two set of thoughts. In the first 7 line, the poet, he is complaining, and in the second 7 line, in the next 7 line, he is showing some devotion. So overall we can say it is a kind of devotional sonnet which is written by John Milton. So before moving to the question answer portion, I would like that you should learn the word meaning of these few words. These are the tough words in this sonnet. These words are not often used. So I want you to learn the meaning of this word. Go through dictionary, or you can find it in Google itself. The first word is hath, settle, sweat, semblance, and induced. So you should find the meaning of these words, so that you will understand this poem. And in the next class we will discuss the question answer portion. In my previous class, which I have already explained, if any one of you have not been through that video, please go through it, please check that video, and try to clear your concept. So in my next class we shall be discussing the question answer portion of this sonnet. Till then, if you like the video, please like, share and comment, and at the same time, for more updates, for all the notifications, please do subscribe and press the bell icon. Thank you so much.